Oh man, that's fun. Oh, how do you do the fade out? I didn't know that was a thing we could do. That's awesome. I was just gonna wait. I was like, we'll wait and we'll have like just a dead stop, and then I'll just start talking awkwardly. But the fade out's really nice. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Rudd's Room Live. This is a Bilbrey Live takeover by Brandon Rudd. As you guys know, if you watched last night, Audie was our host. He did a great job. He did mention that Bilbrey is currently missing. Where he could be, we're not quite sure. We did have a lead yesterday that Audie told you guys about. There was some rumor that he was behind the ice wall. So our team got on that real quick because we definitely need to get him back. Quick Google search determined the ice wall is not a thing. So that's probably not where he is. I have heard, though, let's go, Brandon. I have heard, though, we have other sources. My most current source, and we're going to have to look into this, has told me he's got himself into kind of a Pulp Fiction Silence of the Lambs kind of situation, like Buffalo, what's his name, Buffalo Bob or whatever. Our understanding is that he's probably in a pit in somebody's cellar, and that he's probably being told he rubs the generic cola on his skin or else it gets the hose again. That sounds pretty credible, so we are going to look into that and see what we can find out, see if we can find him and get him back, because we need him to get back on these Rudd's Room Lives. I mean, Audie and I can only carry the weight for so long, so we're going to do it for a while, but hopefully we'll have him back soon, so we'll see how that goes. Thanks for joining us tonight, everyone. Do not forget, Google says Uranus is a deep. Well, fair enough. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. We'll try to get a little interaction going tonight. I'm going to do my best to fill in for Christopher. I've watched plenty of Christopher. I don't know how good of a Christopher impression I do. I know Audie does an impression. I think I'm just going to try to do my best. I don't think I'm going to. Yeah, Audie did a great job yesterday. I told him the same. Now he's starting to get a big head, so let's not give him too much credit. But no, he did a great job. But I'm going to do my best. I'm probably not going to do a 2-3 hour show, but we do have some stuff to talk about. He rubs the coal on skin or gets the Twinkie. We do have some stuff to talk about. So, and I've talked with Christopher about it as well. So he's kind of guided me on it. See, Audie. Sorry, now I'm distracting myself. He's kind of guided me on it. I've got some notes. Kate's been really helpful. But we are going to go over the Henry County Council budget work session from Friday. It's pretty interesting. What we're going to go over, the side of audio would be fun. What we're going to go over primarily is, and I need to fix my screen. Primarily is our good friend, Sheriff John Sproles, took up a large portion of that budget session with his concerns, discussing his budget. And there's some pretty interesting things said. So that's what we're going to be going through tonight. And like I said, I'm going to do my best at filling in for Bilbrey. And we'll see how this goes. Now I messed this up. So I'm going to go ahead and just get into this. This session, this video they've got posted on YouTube is almost 6 hours long. It's like 5 hours, 54 minutes. We are not going to go through the entirety of that, obviously. And now I broke it. Let's make sure we can hear audio and everything. But we will hit some of the high notes, some of the things of interest. And Kate's going to catch me if I screw something up. So I would say in general, just to start off, this gets a little heated at times. There's some bastards type discussion involved. There's a couple of major topics. What we're really going to hear him talking about primarily is Sproles has a budget he's suggested that he's put forth. And there's maybe some disconnect on what is feasible and what should actually be happening. So first clip I'm going to show you here. I'm going to let this go for a little while, but he's going to kind of go over what he's asking for and what that budget looks like, how much he's asking for and where it should go. And it's going to be fun. So I'm going to go ahead and get this going here. This is about 2 hours in. Sproles doesn't show up until around this time, so it hasn't been going for too long at this point. This close to the start of where Sheriff John Sproles is coming.
Government class. This is Josh. Yeah, unofficial intern. So I had sent the sheriff a text message just kind of summarizing that you guys had requested $700,000 of additional wages and over $500,000 of additional expenses. And what you're looking at right now has all of your additional expenses included and budgeted for, but none of the additional wages, which is what we always do when we go through budget session.
So she's already started off. I'm going to be really annoying, maybe more annoying than Bilbrey on this one. I'm going to stop this periodically. So what she's saying is, from the budget he's proposed, he had also proposed an additional $700,000 in increased wages. She's making this pretty clear in the beginning. It's an extra $700,000 in wages. They don't normally include that, so she's not including that.
We roll back every raise request
from every department,
and then we go at the end. So right now we've included all of the other additional expenses. About 200,000 of them are in the sheriff's budget. There's 147,000 of them in the jail budget, and the rest of them have been moved to safety lit or jail lit. And we are actually balanced right now with a small amount of money available for raises for everyone in the county. There's about 300,000 for the whole county. So I think that what we'd like to do is see if any of your additional expenses.
See, now this is where you're going to get me, Diane, where I don't do a good Bilbrey impression. It is a fairly small county. What is this, like 40,000 registered voters, Kate? Something like that. It's a fairly small county. It's not huge.
This can be backed out.
That's right,
down,
Joey.
Wait for next year, anything like that. So we can increase the amount of money we have available for raises across the whole county. And I'll let the other council members change what I just said.
So she's kind of going through this very clear. This is actually a pretty nice setup now that I'm watching this again. She's letting them know that like he's requested 700,000. They've got like 300,000 for raises, and those need to go for the entire county. That's not just sheriff's department funding. This is basically saying this is a budget session. We need to budget. So we've got so much money. You've asked for a lot. We need to figure out what to do.
That if that's not right.
This tape.
Question here. When you say you backed out the raises, when you were using, you texted me that 700,000 number. I couldn't, I didn't come up with 700,000 that we were requesting for raises.
I would not call it a rich county. It is, most of their employees are, we'll get to it in this meeting, but most of the employees are, they're not making crazy money. I'll tell you that. What was it? We'll get to it. I would not call them a rich county.
But did you back out the request for additional officers as well?
Yes, correct.
I didn't think about putting those in when I did the major proposals, but we'll have to add 2 additional officers.
What about the jail staff?
Well, no, jail, I didn't do anything with jail except back, well, probably because I took it back to what it was.
We took it back to last year.
I took it back to last.
So we've removed the extra positions and rolled back the wages. Right now in the budget, your department and all others, all wages and job positions are the same.
And so let me say in fairness, he is asking for, it seems like he's asking for quite a bit. He's asking for a lot of money. He's wanting more staff. He's wanting raises for everybody. And I will give him credit that he definitely should fight for his guys. Like, you're in charge of a department and you see where you could use more help or you could use more money, that's reasonable that you would ask for it. We'll see as this meeting goes on how it kind of goes for him and how he responds to that. But yeah, for sure, I'll give him credit. He should fight for his guys, but you need to be reasonable as well.
Because I am new at this,
Because I'm an FNG.
can you guys explain to me just so I have an understanding of what is I just want to understand the purpose of this meeting today.
Who am I and what am I doing here? Where am I? Someone help me.
I think when we meet with every department, we go through line by line and talk
agree,
about
Diane.
the request, justification for increase. We did not really do that with you guys when we met the first time because we were just trying to reconcile between the two different budget forms. So you're the only department now that we haven't gone through and reviewed together the requested budgeted items.
I will add, right now, given that we hope to be able to add the positions that you just alluded to, the minimum amount for raises is mostly gone after adding those. We're talking countywide. Whatever we can prioritize today, you have the most flexibility in your additional request.
I like that, Yoko.
$2 million between sheriff and jail. You have
You
the
clarified
biggest.
2 million, nearly 2 million.
That was additional over this year. And what you submitted was about 2 million combined between jail and sheriff.
Okay, so this is going to be fun. So this is the first mention. They're saying you've requested 2 million, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Kate. You've requested 2 million for jail and sheriff. She already told him that she backed out about 700,000 because that was raises and whatnot. So he did actually requested 2 million. They backed it out, so it actually equals something like 1.3, 1.4 million.
That's 2 million above what they had budgeted for last year.
Yes. But this is going to break his brain, though. The 2 million number is going to break him. So that's why I bring it up. And I also want to, as we're watching this, I want to point out this choppy camera is a result of their stream. That's not on our end. I do want to give them credit because I think it's awesome that they are transparent and they stream these meetings. The audio is pretty good, but yeah, this video does look choppy. That's not us. That's their video quality.
You have the biggest
Hi, Whitney.
amount of monies that we can look at if we're going to provide any raises to any department, including yours, because we have X amount of revenues from the state. So what I hope is that we can do a little bit further. We've moved quite a bit into safety-lit and jail-lit after our discussions last week. That frees up some in the general fund where the raises are going to be looked at for most departments. I'm hoping we can come up with some savings that we can give raises to everybody. And as I told your predecessor, we have been giving twice the amount of whatever we're able to have through the county, twice that amount for sheriff and jail. I'm hoping we can do the same, but we're not there yet. So the purpose of this meeting is to find legitimate places that you help us prioritize, that we can find monies, given the revenue expectations for Henry County, that we can give any raises, but also decent raises. And I'm hoping, because I made that 3-year promise to your predecessor, that whatever we're able to give to the county, that maybe we can do twice that amount. But right now it's like 1% and 2% if we're lucky, if we cut.
Yeah, so that's pretty reasonable. He's saying, yeah, I know you have a lot of requests. We would love to help you out, but we really need to see you've got a set amount of money. You've only got so much taxpayer money. We'd love to help you. What we want to do here is prioritize and see what's important to you. If we can cut money in some areas, we can help you in others. But you've got a big wish list, and they can't give him everything he wants. Joey.
There is.
Not one of those exist.
So in short, you requested for 2024 twice the amount of all the other 16 departments combined as far as additional requests.
That's amazing. That line there is like, so in short, you've requested twice as much as the other 16 departments combined. So to his point, we'd love to help you, but you were requesting, it's like in Austin Powers where he's like, it'll be a jillion, bajillion, gazillion dollars. Like, holy crap, dude. We'd love to help you, but that's a lot of cash.
For 2024. So you have the area that's we need to really look at if we're going to give raises, not only to them, but any raises. So I think, you guys correct me, but I'm talking generalities. Once we add those new employees,
Yes, Diane.
we're able to do that, then the 1% we were talking about actually has gone down unless we can come to mutual understanding of prioritizing what's needs versus wants, I think.
Just a quick general question as well. What is the overall projected income for the county for 2024?
Well, it's broken up into general and all the other funds.
Yeah, county general is what?
How much money is there? Because I want a lot of it.
County general for the almost exclusively for the biggest majority.
Yeah, what I shared with you before came from the comprehensive plan, and the projection for 2024 is $15,898,600. That's an estimate.
Yeah.
And everybody's budget request, including yours, came up to over 18 million. So we're about
Exactly,
2
Diane.
million, about 2.5 million over. And almost 2 of that was from your request.
And we found in that 2 million, we found duplicates, like the sheriff's retirement was in yours, but it was also in public safety
So we
low
took
lit.
that out already.
So we removed it.
It doesn't need to be in 2 different places. So
Right.
that's,
So they're explaining this to him. Like, you asked for like 2 million, but you had things that were duplicated that didn't need to be in the budget. So we pulled them out of your request. You requested 2 million. We pulled some things out of there. I think we're all following.
over half a
Are
million.
we in that 18 million compared to this, let's call it 16 million projected income for the county? What about the lit programs? We're not, when you said there was 18 million of requests, I'm assuming some of that would come out of safety lit, et cetera, correct?
It's
Only-
separated out. from
Only
that.
the ones that you duplicated were in there. The receipts for public safety lit are estimated to be 1.4 million.
It's like 16 and 18 is general fund.
So total county monies are about 30 million.
Yeah, so about half of it's general, but that's where we'd be looking at.
Yeah,
Most all the
16.3
raises are
general fund.
general.
I just wanted, just for my clarity, and again, I apologize. I'm just having to try to put all
It
these
is
numbers
interesting
together.
to look at. There's a significant chunk for the highway department.
Sure.
and
Yeah,
then health
makes sense.
department, park, but 30 million total and 16.3 general fund.
Okay.
So mostly Shannon and Susan have gone through and gleaned out the duplicates. For example, sheriff retirement was in 2 different places. So I took out like $500,000 that freed up.
Hmm.
Would
But
that
what-
come out of the 2 million that you said that
Yes.
we
Yes.
requested? So we didn't request 2 million additional, is that?
Probably
1.3, I think.
1.3.
Okay, I just want to make sure those statements are clear, because saying that we requested $2 million more in a budget is,
What was handed into Debbie was 2 million over.
Okay, fair enough. He's saying, yeah, I did request 2 million, but technically it's duplicated, so I didn't really request 2 million. Okay, cool. Moving on.
It was.
He's referring to the 1170 line item budget. What you turned in was $2 million more than the
But we
previous
took
1170 budget.
700,000
Okay.
that they found, very studiously found.
And that's okay. It was
So it's
just budgeted in
1.3
the
over.
wrong place. So it wasn't not an incorrect statement. It
No.
was just,
Correct. It's not an incorrect
We
statement.
found 700,000 that's out of that. So we're down to 1.3 in addition
There's a lot more work to it, isn't there, Joey?
for 2023.
I think one question too, 700,000 was an increased personnel, people or salary increases. The rest, 500,000 or 600,000 is in expenses. Are you actually over budget that much? Or have we created new line items but not reduced old line items where you're currently paying things out of?
Did you budget correctly?
Look, go ahead.
700,000, you used the number 700,000 and then 500,000, correct?
Those are numbers that she
Yeah,
used.
it's 500 or 600. Yeah.
In the
it's
ballpark.
rough.
That's so 1.2 million-ish in the
Let's say
ballpark.
between 1.2 and 1.4.
Okay.
We lost track a
So
little
about
bit as we were
1.3,
moving
like I already
things to
said.
the extra lit funds.
So
but-
I want to be clear, because I don't think I am. So we had requested 3 more correctional officers and then 2 more merit deputies. And you're saying we're 1.2?
I heard
In-
Susan use the term 700,000
salaries?
duplications last
Yeah,
year.
it's about 700,000.
I heard that too.
It was your additionals plus your raises.
So if we drop those positions, would it change?
Well, they're not in that.
We don't
So
have
they're
those
not.
in
So
right
that's
now.
not even a.
1.2 million is
Wanted
bean
to
bags.
Some, if that's what you prioritize. How many did you ask in the jail and how many did you ask for? I don't have that.
3 in the
Three,
jail and
two.
2 on the road.
We got the sheriff's retirement from last year to this year.
Yeah, budgeting is not. I guess it's not that easy. I mean, there's a lot of different funds. There's a lot of ways to figure this out, but
Where we took out the stuff for safety.
we're still confused on what he's requested.
25,000 for
It gets more interesting, Jeff. I'm just going through because I love this. It takes. Oh shoot! When I watched this before, I watched this at like 1.25 times speed or something like that, or 1.5 times speed. But we don't need him chipmunking here. But I was watching through this. I'm like, gosh, how much time has passed, and him just trying to figure out how much he requested.
The additional jail maintenance that you asked for and jail lit.
and the other one, we put stuff in the jail and the safety.
It does sound kind of like that, Diane.
And the inmate sheriff medical, we put in jail lit. Anything we could.
Fair
we
question,
did
Joe.
to free up the general.
So I think the most productive conversation is just, have we asked for anything that we could remove to put towards wages? And that's the exact same question we asked every department. And I think for you guys specifically, when we look at your current budget, it doesn't look like you're that far over budget that you would need an additional $500,000 to $700,000 in expenses. So I'm just wondering, have we created line items and budgeted funds for him? Where we're
He just
paying
starts
them out of
tossing a
something else
beanbag in his
now,
hand,
where we
Josh.
Could possibly reduce that line item to free up money for.
Gets out his old hacky sack.
So I'm just stuck on this requesting $2 million, and I'm sorry if I am just totally, and I'm very possibly just totally not understanding.
It's very possible.
I don't think there's any way that we have requested $2 million of additional funds, just not playing any word games. Did we was $2 million of additional funds that we requested?
No, it was.
He still is not getting
I
what he
think, roughly
requested.
1.4.
Correct. That's what I.
Oh, it was
Right.
1.4 in one and 600 in the other.
But that
He
included
technically
the
requested
individual
2 million, but it
expenses.
wasn't new funds, so they fixed it for him.
Total of 2 million.
And he's not getting it. I know this is a little painful, Yoko, but I wanted to go through this just so we can understand where he's coming from the beginning of this meeting. And so she's over here showing him line items. Here is the budget.
Yeah, but it just, this whole
Roughly, and
thing,
then the rest.
how much money did you ask
Correct.
for? You asked for
Plus what
2
we
million
moved
more
over
than
to
they
the
did
lit
last
funds that
year.
wasn't there
That's what you
before.
asked for. We're not doing all of that. We took out 700,000 because wages don't count. It
Yeah.
just shows his complete ineptitude where budgeting
No.
is concerned.
In
Yeah, he
where?
doesn't get
Public
it, does he?
safety? Yeah,
So that's why I think
Public
it's important.
safety,
I know
though,
it
is
is
not-
painful, Yoko,
it's
but
not just
that's
the
what we're
sheriff's
getting at.
budget, right? Yeah.
We reduced what the sheriff's budget out of public safety was paid for last year to this proposal. Because we reduced car money.
We moved certain things over to the jail lit to, okay.
Our total public safety was like, should be less than 24, but this proposal was less than 23.
So I am not going to argue that point with you. I think you're saying it might not be as much, and I think you could be right. Share.
So why are we arguing this?
Uh-huh.
She's doing a good
Right.
job here. I don't.
$298,000
Let me look at this.
in there was in sheriff's medical and public safety.
That's
was
Susan
inmate
Hun
medical expenses.
speaking. Susan Hun.
And
She seems
I
pretty calm
recommended
through
moving
this.
that to the
Does a
jail
pretty good
lid where
job, I
it
think.
belongs. Yeah, there's dollars in the jail lid.
That freed
The
up some
public
from the
safety
general
lid
fund.
can be used for things not associated with the jail. So that was a duplicate of what you guys had. I don't know if it was the same number, but it was the same line item duplicated. So that complicated things even further with what you guys requested versus what we had in lit. The numbers didn't necessarily match. So
And the other part of
last
that,
week's exercise was trying to get us all on the same page.
and the fact that the amount for sheriff vehicles went down is not what you put in your budget. So you did request more. We chose to move that down because you requested like 270 plus 90,
So 360.
and we put the 64 because we were going to lease plus use the ARP funds. So
We'll get more into this.
when we
This is
say you
this is on the
asked
cards.
for
This is a huge
that's
source of
where the
contention for
rest of
this.
that
Yeah,
budget
there's
meeting.
$300,000 there that was asked for that we reduced in public safety to 64,400.
And they also, I think I was talking over it, but they were also talking about how a lot of the money for the jail is going to this thing, that thing. It's going into, God, I'm going to ruin my own joke. It's going to inmate medical expenses. I've got a really good way to reduce inmate medical expenses. Stop shooting unarmed inmates with beanbag guns. That's a good way to save some of that money.
I actually think that this starts a conversation out kind of adversarially. You asked for what you needed. We can't afford all of it. And
I understand.
And that's a great way to describe it. She's like, we're starting off. Why are we starting off adversarially? Like, we are a community. Like, that's the whole point of this whole meeting, is saying we've got a budget for everybody in this county, for everyone in this community, but it's me, I. And I said, I understand that he wants to fight for his people, but you got to make concessions. They're asking him to find what is your priority list, so we can try to get you what you guys really need, but the things you don't need, so we can get that budget where it needs to be and make sure everyone in the county is taken care of.
Just, I guess, what is throwing me, and I'll move on from it, is the sheriff's department takes X amount of funds to operate.
Correct.
Where those funds come from, there's all kinds of different ways that we get those funds, but we utilize X amount of funds. And the way that I'm hearing this is that I have requested $2 million of additional funds.
No.
Dude, how many times and ways do they need to explain this to you? Did you guys hear that? That was the ambulance coming because they heard that Sproles was crying in a budget work session. Dude, that's not what they're saying. We've gone over this. You're good.
But that has been said that you requested $2 million more. Is
What
that
you turned into Debbie was, that's what turned in initially, you were 2 million over what,
Yes,
2023.
I agree. And
We took out 700.
Yeah, that's what you turned in. We took it
let me
out.
try to
There you
address
go.
it, because you didn't ask for $2 million additional funds. You did ask for $2 million additional funds out of the specific budget numbers. That's the difference. So we're not trying to say you asked
Nobody
for
cares
$2 million
anymore.
more. We're trying to say that the 1170 account that you guys submitted versus the 1170 account that we had to look at, that was the 1.4, I think the 1170 was. And the jail one was 670 or whatever it
It was
was.
slightly over 2
So
million.
that was the statement. Nobody's accusing of requesting $2 million
Well, no, it's been
more.
said today, you've requested $2 million more. And I just want to clarify that because
It was just related to the budget sheet that he has in front of him.
all right.
Kill me, dude.
Looking at this, basically, there was an increase over the two budgets of roughly $363,401.
So we've got it, right? We're good. $2 million, not a big deal. We've got it. We've got it. Okay, we've moved on.
Then support raises countywide.
correct. And there's even a few line items I'm not sure are high enough. like inmate medical. I'm not sure we have enough. So we just need to make sure the
That
numbers
inmate
are,
medical is
are right.
spiraling out of
And
control
before we
with the
start
beanbag
looking at
shootings.
reducing things, last week we discussed, can some of these items be purchased out of commissary? And then I've also asked, are some of these
Oh, dang, Kate's
one-time
gone. She missed that joke.
one-time purchases, we might be able to get dollars from elsewhere to support recurring costs? We probably are going to have a struggle with finding dollars to support.
So I think probably the best way, you guys, I'll let you all walk down through the line items and ask questions per line item. And we'll do the best we can to answer those questions. I think
Good thing we got this professional here to good thing we got this professional here to tell them how to do their jobs. Thank you. Yes, we'll go through the line items and we can talk about it. Thank you for explaining to us how to do our jobs, since you clearly understand this so well.
that's probably the best route to go. You guys just work down through it.
And Susan mentioned inmate medical, which is also listed in another line.
Okay,
Sheriff
Kate's back.
medical.
Kate, they'd save a lot of money on inmate medical if they stopped shooting them with beanbags.
Because the change in the legislators allowed us to.
There we go.
go
That's the
over
laugh I wanted.
20% That we bring in tax-wise on the jail lit. It was capped at 20% on ongoing. They raised that 20%. So the whole 308 we took out of those accounts that had inmate medical / sheriff medical. So eventually we'll have to ask if that 308 is sufficient, given what she said, but it's in jail lit, so that's freed up in the general fund for.
I just want to make sure you all understand, like, we need X amount of dollars to operate. Where that comes from and how all of that works, I guess that's you all can, I don't want to get hung up on well, you said $2 million, because it's.
$2 million is back.
No,
Because
we're
that is
past,
what you
we're past
submitted in.
that, John. We're past it.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm
Thank God. That is the patience he had. That is Counselor Shannon. What is his last name? Shannon Tom. His patience with that to finally like, dude, we've moved past that. $2 million. We explained it to you 15 times. We're not explaining it again. Let's move on with our lives. So I'm going to keep this going for a minute longer. I'm going to jump around a little bit. I'm not going to make you guys watch this entire 3 hours. I told you I wouldn't keep you Bilbrey time on this one, but there's a lot of notable things that kind of go through this beginning, and then I'll kind of skip around, and it gets pretty fun. It gets a little heated.
good. One other question on the WIS. Can you explain again the market and market low?
Yes, market is the full average within a 40-mile radius. They do not go into Ohio, but it includes the Nodak counties, which boosts it up considerably. That is what those different positions are.
That's the average.
That's the market average.
That's a state average that includes all counties, as I recall, or no, is it the surrounding counties
It's
around?
40-mile radius, because they
40
said
mile
somebody
radius,
will
okay.
try 40 miles to get a higher wage. So it does include Hamilton, because it includes Southeast Hamilton, so they throw all of Hamilton, they throw all of Marion, they throw all of Hancock, they throw all of Madison, they throw all of Johnson, they throw all of Shelby. And some of those counties have 15
I
times.
don't think
the-
Hamilton County's in that.
I think it is.
We had it. we looked down.
I think it is.
All right. Why do we not show a market high? Why do we not show a category? That's just
Because
a
we don't
general
have the
question.
monies that those donut counties have.
So, Kate, correct me if I'm wrong here. I'm going to try to pretend to sound smart and try to explain this. So, they're talking about, they look at a market, a low market, which is, what is it they said, 10% under the average or whatever. So they look at the counties within 40 miles around there, and they look at what that market value is. And the market low is saying that they're like 10% under that average, right, Kate?
Yeah, they take average salaries for 40 miles around them, and then if they're 10% below that, what they're paying, then they're low market.
Yes, correct. So that's what they're telling him. And then he asked them, why aren't we looking at the high market? And his response is, because we don't make anywhere near the high market. And they talk about the donut counties kind of around Indy, around that area. There's a lot wealthier, larger counties that donut counties from talking to a cop. I like that, Eric. But those counties have a lot more money. They're kind of hard to be comparable to a small town like, or a small county like Henry County. But yeah, we don't look at high because it's not relevant for Henry County.
Most 90% of our employees don't even make low market. Low market, to answer your question, is 10% below market. All of
And if I was patient, he would have just explained it for me so I wouldn't look so dumb.
our employees are making mostly below low market because of the revenues we are allowed to have from the state, mostly through property taxes.
John, to share, we had meetings with a group of department heads in regards to the job classification meeting that was held last month that was a complete mess. And we believe that we have a lot of work to do in how salaries are represented by Wagner and Shealy, as well as what some of the job classification scales may look like, as well as trying to come up with a uniform way of requests. So there's a lot of work to be done in that area. Wagner, Irwin, and Shealy is providing us with what we've asked them for in the past. I'm not sure that's the right thing we should be asking them for.
I think it switched.
Correct, Diane. Yeah, you're not going to.
When the
Yeah,
low
that makes
market
sense.
Column was put in, I believe it used to just show average.
And you're right there, Josh. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Our first goal was to get the low market, and still 85 to 90% of our employees countywide don't even make low market.
But who does?
Some that are close to low market actually are in your department because
Oh.
of the changes we made in the last 2 years.
So that's important to note is he's saying, yeah, I want more money for my department. We're not making enough money. And he's saying, well, 85, 95% of our employees don't even make low market. He's like, the ones that do are in your department. Like, you guys make way more than anybody else as far as our government employees go in this county. So, sorry, I'm looking at notes. So that's interesting to note. Again, I get why he's asking for more money, but this is a shared budget. That's the whole point. We need to see where we distribute this money, and he's not liking the answers he's getting, but we need to make sure, they need to make sure that money's distributed properly. Now let me see where my next point I want to go to is. Like I said, I'm not going to make you guys watch this entire thing. You'll probably go insane. Okay, I'm going to jump to this part because I find it to be quite amusing. We're going to go to... Let's jump here real quick and listen for a minute.
Okay, 47.9 moved
to jail lit, and 15,000 in inmate supplies moved to jail lit.
I'm not gonna lie, I had to ask Kate what lit means. It's a local income tax. They're talking about jail local income tax, safety local income tax that has specific places it's supposed to be spent. So,
okay, that was the 200.09 category, top of page 29 of 31 to 15,000.
Yes.
You'll like this, Josh Fisher.
Okay. Legal services.
Legal services.
That is, she had put that in for my attorney representation. We probably need to add a few zeros to that.
Okay, that's worth noting. I think Kate put a note. Kate was helping me a lot with this, so thanks again, Kate. I love that. He said attorney representation. We're probably going to need to add a couple zeros to that. So for those of you who don't know, Christopher Bilbrey, who normally hosts the show, I know some people are asking who Bilbrey even was, currently has a lawsuit, or the ACLU has a lawsuit with Sheriff Sproles for blocking him on a Facebook page, which he was using. He claims as a personal page. We'll get to that too. He claims as a personal page, but the argument is that he was using it as an official Facebook page. Christopher's already gone through this in previous episodes. You can see where he's basically every picture on that page is him working as sheriff or press releases as a sheriff, things like that. So I'm not going to get too in the lawsuit, but he's being sued right now by ACLU for First Amendment right violations for blocking constituents or general public on his Facebook page. So that's what he's referring to. He said, for my legal fund, for that budget, we may need to add a couple zeros to that. So let's continue this.
Made that joke and not us.
Glad you made that joke.
We were not going to go there. We're going to
We'll be all right.
We're famous.
boys and girls and not even bring it up.
Or Christopher is, at least.
But since I went there, go ahead and turn the cameras off. Let's talk.
That's a funny line, too. He said, let's turn the cameras off and let's talk. I'll assume he's joking, but that's a huge open door violation. It's joking about an open door violation. I assume he's joking. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. You're not going to turn those cameras off. They don't turn the cameras off. We'll keep you on. But it was worth noting.
That I think we obviously need. It's going to come from somewhere. Now,
This hurts my brain.
I guess we'll talk about that later. I've got a serious conversation to have about that situation. You're well aware of my conversation regarding insurance and insurance attorneys. But I will say this, obviously in any kind of lawsuit type of situation, the insurance company provides an attorney.
Yep.
That's what we were told. That's why we didn't talk too much about that line.
Yeah.
That's what we were,
Right.
Joel told us that too.
Right. But there's a serious conversation we're going to have about this that is going to be alarming to all of you all to the absolute max.
Ooh, to
And
the
it's
max.
not going to be real pretty in regard to this, and we'll talk about it another time, but just a shocking occurrence that I had yesterday with the insurance.
Okay, stop there.
Attorney. And it's very...
So, sorry I keep stopping this, but this kills me. So he's like, we need to talk about this later. This is something we probably shouldn't be talking about here. Allow me to go on. But he is talking about what we think he's talking about.
Concerning, very upsetting, and they're well aware of it. The insurance company is well aware of it. They're very upset about it. And, well, let me just give you 1 minute because it has to do with our finances. Obviously, I'm getting sued by the ACLU from Christopher Bilbrey.
Of the Bastards of Politics.
So the insurance company assigned me an attorney. So I got a letter yesterday from the attorney that said that she would be handling my case to direct all communication to her, and basically really detailed out the concerns and that they're just going to seek to have a settlement, and they're contacting the attorney tomorrow. So I called that attorney and I said, let me ask you a question. It's regarding my Facebook account. So let me ask you a question. I said, do you know whether I have a Facebook account or not? And the attorney said, what do you mean? I said, this is what I asked. Are you aware whether I have a Facebook account or not? And the answer to that was, well,
I'll tell you what he said, guys. Sorry, it's not.
No, I want to know if you're aware that I even have a Facebook account. The answer to that was no.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all we need. Yeah.
It's not-
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll go.
So basically, sorry you guys can hear that very well. He is kind of hard to hear. So he's going on. He says, "Hey, you guys, while we're talking about the budget, the line item on the legal, just you may be aware that the ACLU is suing me and Christopher Bilbrey of Bilbrey Live." He's like, and there's some very alarming to the max things you guys need to know. I talked to, as you know, the insurance provides an attorney. And I talked to the attorney, and the attorney, I asked them, let me ask you a question. Do I have a Facebook account? And they're like, well, I don't have Facebook. And then he says, well, do you know if are you aware that I have a Facebook account? And the attorney basically says, I guess not. No. It's like, that's very alarming. And then the counsel is basically says, hey, that's all we need to know. Shut up. You're on the record. We're live streaming. You're talking. Yeah, there you go. You were talking on a live stream on the record about discussions you've had with your attorney. You probably want to shut up about that legal stuff. So that's pretty funny to me. But they definitely shut him down. Like, dude, you need to not be talking about that stuff on the record right now. And they'll revisit it a little bit. So that's kind of fun. That's about the end of that conversation. But no, Josh Fisher, that's their discussion on. He's like, boy, I need to get some more money because things might not be going well. So his next big topic he's hung up on, all that darn legal stuff. So his next topic, he's already brought it up once, is the cars. They're wanting to get some more police vehicles. So I'm going to jump to that real quick, and we'll go from there. Sorry if you guys are having trouble hearing. I'm trying to kind of lay out what they're saying, but their audio is better than their video, and that's not saying a whole lot, I guess.
24 that I gave you a sheet.
The matrix.
Oh, and one more point I want to make. Kate put this in her notes, but I think it's interesting as well. It's funny to me because JD Prescott, State Representative JD Prescott, did the same thing. He was sued for blocking constituents by one Brandon Rudd for blocking constituents on his Facebook page that he was using as a public official Facebook page. It's almost the same thing. He was using it while he was in session. He was asking questions from constituents and answering questions regarding what he was doing in an official capacity as a representative. So as far as that's concerned, it doesn't matter what you call it. You can't just say it's not an official page and then use it as official page and think that protects you. What matters is what you're doing with it. I mean, it doesn't matter what you call it. So that's what Sproles is doing, basically. He's got a page. He's saying, oh, it's a personal page. This is a campaign page. It has nothing to do with me as a public official. And then it raises this question. Well, then why should the Henry County Council be worried about budgeting for you and your legal defense on your campaign page or your personal page? You can't have it both ways. Either it's a personal page and you're going to take care of it personally, or it's an official page and you done screwed up. And I think he done screwed up. And it was the same thing that JD Prescott did. He said, oh, it's a personal page. And he tried to shame me and call me out in public meetings and say, this guy's wasting taxpayer money. I'm not wasting taxpayer money. You are, by blocking people on your government official page. And you're using taxpayer money for your defense for your campaign page. Sounds like you're doing something pretty unethical. That's my opinion. And that touched a little of a nerve. So we'll go ahead and listen to what we got going on here with these police vehicles.
Built in here.
No.
The actual.
This is 2024's matrix right here. This is your base salary, and that's your matrix.
That'd be nice, shock prof. Shock proof?
That's all right. I'll just add 2,000.
That's the quote, Eric. He done screwed up.
And go through and figure out who goes where.
So you guys will let us know as soon as possible on.
Oh, I can guarantee that as well, Joey.
Medical.
Right now,
Wanted
we
to
budgeted 308,000 out of jail.
touch on vehicles real quick. We put, you saw the 300.
Joey, you can also look. You can see on his page. You can see when he changed it. He changed the name of his Facebook page immediately after he was served the lawsuit, the papers, or whatever you call it. I'm not a lawyer. I just slept a Holiday Inn Express last night, and I can read.
$60,000 removed from the sheriff's budget. In the public safety low-it budget, we put $64,400, and that's calculation based on the enterprise lease information that was given to us, $1,700 down payment on 4 vehicles, plus $1,200 a month payment on 4 vehicles.
I'm sorry, can you explain the 360,000?
That's what was requested originally in the sheriff's budget.
That was two, you're right.
That was removed. And
So if you guys can't hear this, so essentially he requested $300,000 plus to buy some new vehicles for the police. Sorry, Shock Professor. he requested a ton of money, basically over $300,000 for new police vehicles. They're saying they can lease them for $64,000, save a ton of money. Sounds like a great idea. They get new cars. They don't spend $300,000 plus. They get money they can put towards raises or whatever else they need in the county. Sounds like a good idea to me.
The public safety low budget now includes $64,400 for leasing 4 vehicles. And we understand as a council that that's not just a 1-year cost. That payment as it sits for those 4 vehicles has to remain in our budget till the end of that lease. So that we understand that doesn't take care of all your vehicle needs next year. Vehicles will be an ongoing discussion, and we need to address that. I mentioned to Captain Pierce.
Cop cars are expensive.
Yesterday, that the anticipation
What is that, like $90,000 a car?
Our vehicles is a completely different discussion, and we really can't even have that discussion here.
More beanbag money, Joey.
But leasing gave us, well, you heard $100,000 is what it frees up. For every 100,000, we can give a 1% raise for employees. So freeing up those dollars.
Great. Sounds great, guys.
Public safety, low it allows us.
From what I understand, police cars run about $60,000 for the vehicle and $60,000 for the outfitting of the vehicle. So it's about $120 per car.
Ooh, so I was going low. Yeah, that's pricey, but they can get 4 leased for $64,000 is what it sounds like, right, Kate? You're hearing that the same way? Yeah.
So are you saying that it's only going to cost $64,400 next year to put 4 new vehicles on the road?
Yes. Leases.
I believe that's correct, Liz. They'll talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm tracking on that.
All right. Good night, Alva.
We've gone from spending $200-some thousand to cutting it down. I mean, what can we not just at least maintain the expense that we had in 2023 and put that into leasing to put 10 new cars on the road?
I think.
Yeah. So what Sproles is saying here, if you can't hear him again, I don't know if you can or not, but he's saying, well, shoot, if we save money from leasing, why not just get a ton more cars and then not put that money into raises or into other funds or into other places in the county? Let's just get me more cars, baby. So that's his question. Yeah, there you go, shock professor. Sorry. Getting back to me, it's only 4 employees and their companies in Henry County. And I don't know, in Henry County, do they allow their officers to take the vehicles home and all that? That's a good question as well that I don't know the answer to. Maybe someone on here knows, but I don't know that answer.
I think that's a conversation that I think we'd like to have next year, because I think that
point being that Sproles didn't get the whole point was they're trying to move money so they can afford more of the things on his wish list. Listen, let's get a couple cars. Okay, Yoko says yes, they do get to take home. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's ways to share vehicles or whatnot. I wasn't a police officer like Christopher Bilbrey was at one point in my life, but there's probably ways that you could probably, if you need to, you can save money. And I guess I'll go on this rant right now. It always frustrates me when you see like the government spending, because they don't see it as their money. Like if you're budgeting for your own home, right? And oh shoot, I want to get a new car and I want to do this and that, but also I've got a leak in the roof. You make concessions and go, well, what are our priorities? Like this is what they're trying to get him to do. Priorities, we got a leak in the roof. We probably need to fix that first because that's going to cause a lot of damage to the house and we don't have a safe home. Okay, what is our next priority? Well, we need to make sure our utilities and everything get paid. What's the next priority? Then we get down to we need a new car. And he's not getting that. It's like, well, what if we just patch that tiny hole in the roof and then I can get 2 cars? No, man, we're trying to get all the priorities taken care of. It's very simple, and it drives me nuts. And I'm not speaking about this specifically, but in general, government officials, when they're spending your tax dollars, I feel like some of these counselors are making some good points, and they're trying to make good decisions, somewhat wise decisions with the taxpayers' money. I don't see that coming from Sproles, and I just don't think he's getting it. That's my rant.
we need to get 1 year.
He's just turning into a Reds Room rant real quick.
under our belt. We really do.
I think it's that trial
If we can get,
question mark about this.
there is, and
My question mark was, I see we took 152 and reduced it down to 64.4.
correct.
Correct.
52 was a carryover. That was what it was
Wasn't
in
enough
there.
For the
Right,
purchase.
right. We got vehicles with no upfitting.
I think, and this is just me doing the fleet stuff, 4 cars still puts us in a bad spot. 6 would leasing would put us in a better position down the road.
Yeah.
Looking at ours.
I know, but that would be for purchase. We
Right.
need those cars no matter what. But I'm talking, if we don't do anything, 4 cars still puts us cars with 150,000 miles road.
64 fours for 4 vehicles, yes.
So I guess in a big picture, us trying to hustle up this lease thing has done nothing for us, just save the county a bunch of money.
I hate that line so much. So this what have you done for me lately, Eddie? So what is the line here? I think Kate wrote it down here. So what does this do for us? Oh, here we go. So we have a lease. This plan does nothing for us, but saves the county a bunch of money on a budget. Correct, but they're trying to find ways to get your guys raises. They're trying to find ways to get you everything we want. We're trying to make concessions to get everything taken care of. You can't have everything, dude. He's sounding like a teenager, and it drives me nuts.
Well, 90,000 you moved somewhere else.
90,000 we freed up for next year, yeah. This leasing gives us the ability to try out the lease and try it out on 4 vehicles, hoping you get some vehicles purchased through you got 4 this year, right? 4 new vehicles.
Yeah,
I
we don't have the
don't disagree.
Right.
When Captain
4
Pierce and I,
were ordered before we took office, and we won't have the money to pay for them, but they were already ordered for us.
so do you have vehicles that you're paying for out of this year's budget at this point?
We paid for 3 of them.
Yeah, no kidding, political
Yeah,
night.
we don't have enough to pay for what.
December of 22.
Okay, gotcha.
That's
Okay,
when the window was open to order for 23.
right.
Have they come in yet?
One of the 3 have.
One's due to be built in about 2 weeks.
Okay. so you have the one
We
out.
completely understand that 4 on a rotation is not getting you guys what you need. 4 times whatever it was, 30 vehicles, man. Whatever the total number, I mean, that puts you on
7 years.
between a 7.5 and 8 year
Correct,
rotation.
that'd be about
That-
300,000 miles.
Yeah, that is no good for anybody. We understand that. We want to help get you there.
It's a lot of
I
miles
took
on
4,
this.
Had discussions with everybody to try and get us a start.
But we have cut, here's the thing that is our biggest, one of our biggest needs, 2 of our biggest needs, pay raises and better vehicles.
Mhm.
We have literally, knowing that we cannot survive on what we have been doing, we've literally cut the vehicle budget substantially.
We've cut the vehicle budget
Mhm.
and given you the same number of vehicles. So yes, it was beneficial to do that
Yeah.
from a county budget
So
standpoint.
the county, the sheriff's department can take
We-
a little bit of a hit, because we don't own the vehicles, we're leasing.
Right,
We're in this.
Do you need to own them?
The vehicles they own.
sure. If you want to scrap leasing and just own vehicles, then the,
The leasing was to potentially get us.
More
into a spot.
vehicles.
Right.
That
Sure.
was the whole goal.
sure, don't disagree. I think it's just gonna, this gives us an opportunity to try it and see how.
So I'm waiting for Sproles. So if you notice, I'm waiting for Sproles to just start rubbing this guy's back. Like he's constantly got his arm on this dude's chair and like constantly got his hand behind. I would love if he just started kind of rubbing his back because that'd be really nice. So they're really upset. They want more cars. I get that. 300,000 miles is a lot of miles on a car. He's saying, yes, we understand. We want to try this out and see how this works. If this works out well, then we can increase the budget next year and get a rotation going so they're not having cars with 300,000 miles on it. They're almost kind of wanting to do this as a trial. He's not getting it. I really wanted him to bring up the $2 million again. He's kind of dropped it at this point, but we'll continue.
How it goes, and if we can go full bore and take those rough, hard miles vehicles that we talked about and get them into a road.
That's what it sounds like, Yoko.
We'll be
Correct.
able to do that next year.
So here, the bottom line is we went
Rub us back.
hustling after any avenue that we could, so we could, in order to get more vehicles on the road.
There you go,
So
Diane.
We've hustled up a lease plan
Mhm.
that seems to significantly save money, and it has done nothing for us but allowed the county to save money on a budget. And
We have to prove that it saves money before we can dive full in. That's where we're gonna be. I hear you, I do. And my hope was you got 4 vehicles this year, we get you 4 next year, we get you 4 out of ARP this year.
I don't know that I want to lease vehicles then.
That is the most teenager thing I've ever heard in my life. I don't know who's ever raised a teenager. We've probably all been teenagers. I'm guessing everyone on here, if you're younger than a teen and you're watching this, man, I'm glad you guys are watching this. That's really cool that you're interested in it. But it's like, well, buddy, we can't get you that you're not JD Prescott. We can't get you that Camaro you wanted for your 16th birthday. But we can get you this old Cavalier. I don't even want a car anymore then. Stupid. This is the most childish crap I've ever heard from. Well, okay. I'm not going to say that. It's very childish. Probably not the most childish thing I've ever heard from a political figure. Oh, what do we got here? Yeah, so it drives me nuts. That's funny. So they're basically saying, yeah, we're going to try to get you your 4 cars. We're going to try to get you 4 more out of ARP funding, ARP funding. I've never heard it called ARP before. I always hear it called ARP. They're trying to get him everything he wants. But he's like, well, if it's just save money and I'm not getting everything I want, then I don't really want to do it. I'm taking my toys and I'm going home. Cool. That's the sheriff of Henry County right there.
I think that at this juncture, that I don't want to look at the lease program.
We could probably post it by itself, Joe. Maybe we can share it. Christopher Bilbrey may have shared it on his Facebook page. If he hasn't, maybe we can share it on the Bastards page. I don't know. But yeah, this was posted by Henry County, posted themselves, but we can share it. It's almost 6 hours, so it's a delight, but it's a fun meeting.
And just stick with buying. If we can only get
we'd rather buy them.
Let's just stick with buying 4 cars a year.
I love that. Wait, if we lease them, we can save the county money. But if we buy them, then we can just have them and we don't save the county money. We get the exact same amount of cars, but we don't save the county money. I'd rather just buy them. Screw you guys. If you're not going to just give it to me, if I don't get every bit of those of the money, I don't want to lease them. I just want the money for my. Is that how you're hearing that, Kate? That is absurd. That is absurd to me. Well, if you guys aren't going to give me exactly what I want, then I'm not going to do anything to help you, even though it doesn't hurt me.
I don't think there's a downside to doing a trial on the lease.
There isn't.
And we've got 2 pools of data to work with. If it's not good, they'll be off lease. That's over and done with at some point.
And I told you earlier, 2024 is a tough year for us. So I was trying to get you to the 4 cars using a leasing program that we decided. If you don't want to lease and that's out of the question, then we have to go back and revisit a public safety lit budget and determine how many vehicles we can fund. And I can't tell you that it'll be.
So
4.
there's an option. Let's say next year there's an option. Maybe not just 4, but
Fine, if you don't want to save money, bro, we're not going to still let you spend that full amount on 4 cars. We'll just give you less cars. You can lease your 4, or you can have less than 4. Yeah, in that weird, Yoko, that's like, oh, that's my car. I don't know. Why does it matter if they own them or not? I mean, they may as well lease them because they're going to drive the crap out of them and then get rid of them anyway. If it saves the taxpayer money. Yeah, he doesn't want to save the taxpayer money. He wants to spend. What party did he run under? Is he he's one of those big, as I always say, one of those big spending Democrats? Oh wait, no, he's a Republican who always claimed to be fiscally responsible, and he is not wanting to be fiscally responsible whatsoever. So take from that what you will. Yeah, stand on his feet because he's not getting his way.
If things are going Right. If things are going well and everybody's on board and we could do 6 next year.
Oh God,
that's what
political night. I was trying to find. I've got a T-shirt that looks like Christopher's
What
shirt.
do
I
you
couldn't
do when
find
this
it.
just
I
don't
thought
work?
about it. That's a good idea.
when the leasing doesn't work.
No, when we all are very clear that 4 vehicles a year doesn't work.
You're not very clear on what the $2 million
I'm gonna
was.
go back to my original concern with vehicles. It's life safety issues. It's liability. It's safety issues. We had Commissioner Joe talk about looking at our cars saying, holy crap, this is scary.
Sure.
Here's what I am really thrown, and I want to be nice about this, but
Do you?
we all understand this is a life safety issue. We are choking over ARPA money on whether they can get us a couple vehicles, but they're going to take $6 million.
Tug at those heartstrings,
We don't
baby.
have control over the ARPA funds.
But the ARPA is coming into the conversation, and this is my concern that we were watching
A bunch of
ARPA
bicycle
to
cops?
gauge what we do. So
Mhm.
we are. So what?
Rub his back.
What it appears is happening. We talk about, well, we want some give and take here. So we'll try to give this. We'll try to give this. But we get down to this vehicle question. We're watching ARPA to gauge what we're going to do with our
There you go, James.
general funds.
Like your dog.
If they give us a lot, we'll give less out of general funds. So, and because we did it exactly, we're doing exactly that with the lease program. Hey,
So I won't make you guys struggle through this, and I don't want to take too long. So essentially they're saying they want to try out the lease program with 4 cars, see how it goes. If it works well, they can try to increase the budget next year. Your dog and your image there, James, you've got it looks like a Chihuahua is your YouTube image. Basically they're saying if it works well, we'll try to get you more cars. We'd really like to get you in a good rotation. They say we've also got ARP money. We will try to get you 4 more cars on the ARP money and then get you 4 more cars next year. So they're trying to get him a reasonable. She's very lovely is what I meant to say, James. Beautiful woman. I like her nose. And we'll try to get you in a good rotation because they're saying we're really trying to work with you. We want you guys to have good cars. We want you guys we're wanting you guys to have the appropriate pay so they're not leaving for other communities. All these things we're trying to help you. He's really not hearing it. He's not wanting to work with you. They're saying we can't guarantee you the ARP money to get you the 4 cars. We're going to do our best. That kind of goes back and forth. I will say, when he first started in, he had a huge push to get money for their gym. He wanted a gym because it would save them money instead of paying for gym memberships for his police officers, his deputies. And that way they could work out at work. He came back outside of a budget meeting. I believe it was outside of a budget meeting. He wanted more mirrors, like money for mirrors or something stupid for the gym. I will say, looking at this deputy here, they're getting some use out of the gym. This deputy on the far left, you see what I'm circling? That dude brought more than this gun into this meeting. That dude has been using the crap out of that gym. So I can't completely hate on how much money they've spent on the gym. And where are those damn body cameras, little Johnny? I can't skip because there's a good part coming up here. And gosh dang it, Kate has it in her notes, so I'm not gonna skip it.
we can get 4 and we can save money. So this is not a fair shake. And again, I just we've done a lot of work to save a lot of money for the general fund here. We've got nothing out of it.
We get nothing.
But we have to be fair to the whole county. And that's just keep that in mind at the back of everything.
I get that.
Sure.
If for some reason ARPA falls through and we don't get any cars additionally, we revisit potentially leasing 6 to get us into a better position
I think
because
we need to make that
We would
decision now.
well, I know, but we're making a decision based on another decision.
I know.
Nobody can make it.
We can always make an additional appropriation and request.
Looks like an
next year.
eagle, James.
Because
I mean-
if that falls through, we only get 4.
I completely understand.
Probably some of our other things are going to go up as far as like our maintenance budget and things like that.
I understand. I tried to work, having the conversations that I had to try and get it so that you got your 4 plus 4 plus 4. That gives you 12 cars in 2 years.
Right.
That's 6. That's what I was trying to
How
accomplish.
many were you talking about when you were doing this?
I discussed, I know Dave talked to the commissioners about 6, or the ARPA committee about
Yeah, I
6.
don't think so either, Eric.
The discussions that I had with. the
Good coverage,
commissioners
James. Nobody
was
noticed.
Possibly 4.
You guys are on that board, right? You guys are on that board?
I am not.
He and I are.
Oh, you guys are?
We're 2 out of 7.
So you guys maybe explain to me what happened.
You made the motion. What happened?
I made the motion.
Put him on the spot because he's on that board, the ARP.
Money that was left over, allocate that towards county vehicles so that it could be
Was
I
used
think it was
for,
400.
or 400, excuse me, yeah.
It was
330
400.
was your.
Exactly, Yoko. They haven't actually cut their budget. They just made cuts from the $2 million additional they requested. They're still getting more money, and he's pissed about it.
330.
He is hot.
So, I guess I'm just
There was
lost.
something with clarification in how the ordinance was written
Do we have that?
based on,
We have not seen the ordinance yet. It is still in development. Back to the attorney.
The commissioners had an issue with it, and went back to the attorney. and I
What do you
haven't
mean,
seen
what do you
the
mean by the
final.
ordinance?
so when a.
What's an ordinance?
Have an ordinance.
Okay.
Yeah, ARP has an ordinance that is delivered to the commissioners. They send it to us for allocation of dollars approval. That ordinance has not come to the council.
Okay.
And my understanding is the commissioners have sent it back to.
Are the minutes?
There needed to be clarification on the allocation of the funds. I don't think the motion that we made, or I made originally that was seconded, was specific enough, because I didn't want to make it too specific. Wanted it to be for county vehicles, because we were exploring at that point leasing options. Well, what if we lease everything? Then we don't need to have all this money allocated just to the sheriff. So it's
Yep.
still for the benefit of county vehicles across the board.
And I guess I was there. There was a motion that was passed. And then you.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, Whitney, in general on leasing, but they're trying to see ways they can save money.
And I know it's come out.
That's the thing that's thrown us.
If we're there, requesting a specific number, you gave us, there was a little extra thrown in there for whatever reason. So I guess.
I think part of the extra was weights and measures, if I recall correctly, and then.
They can't do truck stops currently,
Yeah, there
Yeah.
were other
which is a big
requests.
deal in this
My
county along
understanding.
The
I-70.
minutes, we can get the minutes on that, the minutes on that meeting or.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
recorded. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. I don't think the
You can go
meeting
back and
was,
watch it
what the
from there.
meeting was,
I think that was back in May.
okay,
if I'm-
no problem. So.
Oh, I know what I was looking for.
Right.
We're almost there now. I'm gonna jump ahead just a second.
Concern, if 4 cars from ARPA is not doable and 6 million for
perfect.
building maintenance is, then there's something really wrong with that. I don't even know if ARPA, I'm sure they should know, but can ARPA funds be used for long-term building maintenance?
ARPA funds.
Yeah,
It's.
So he's mad he's not getting enough
And there's a
ARPA
study
funds
that
now.
Shows us that the dollars that were allocated for those building renovations is, Kenan knows the numbers, probably half or
It's
less.
11.5 million is what DLZ said it was gonna cost, because we didn't have money to, we haven't had money for the courthouse, the Justice Center, which is
What is
22 years old.
ARPA's American Recovery?
Protection, I don't know what it is.
What is
I
ARPA,
don't-
Kate?
so on-
Nobody in this council knows what it is.
Vehicle thing here. I don't know that, I don't know that I'll do.
American Rescue Plan. That's what it is, right? I don't know the last A. I've never heard of ARPA.
Shannon, your logic is it's 12 over a 2-year period.
Correct.
Which would be. come
6
out
and
to
6.
He
And
says
that-
he's
that
Republican,
gets you
James.
closer
He
to
says he
starting
is.
that schedule that you need to start.
So it's, but out of general fund, it's not, it's simply.
It's coming
a
out of public
2-year
safety
massive
low.
Savings for the county, out of the general fund. It don't help us 1 car. For 2
It
years.
helps 4.
You're
If
talking
you
8
lease right
vehicles,
now.
you're talking 8 vehicles versus the 4 that have been like forever.
Well, leaving ARPA out of it.
I love that. It doesn't help us a lick. It doesn't help us 1 car. No, it helps you 4. We're telling you, we're trying to get you 4 cars out of ARPA funding. What is your problem?
ARPA out of it for the next 2 years, it doesn't give us an extra vehicle.
Now, this is
All of
just for
24.
23 and 24. not talking about 25 yet, okay? 23 and 24, you've got 4 vehicles this year. I understand you don't have the 4th one yet. If you get ARP funding for 4 more, if I get it, that's going to get you ahead, which is, I can't say ahead, because of those 12 cars, Captain Pierce and I talked about it, you could use 15 like today. I get it, but
This meeting is officially
you're going to get
over.
another 4 from ARP potentially, no promises. And then this lease gets you to another 4. It gives us the opportunity.
You tell him, James.
And what Captain Pierce and I talked about is put those 4.
It's
lease
very
vehicles
confusing,
into
Kate.
the-
It's rocket
to
science.
The officers that put the most miles on and beat them to death the most. That's how you get the value out of a leased vehicle. And then we can try it. And what I was getting at earlier with the committing to, if we commit to $64,400 out of that budget for leasing these vehicles, I needed my colleagues to know on the council that $64,000 is there for 4 or 5 years, depending on how the lease comes out. And that's in addition to whatever else we're going to do.
Oh, Joey, you don't even know. We're going to keep going.
That can't go away. That is a commitment that has to be there.
That's a lot of cars, Yoko. I agree. Yeah, Audie, I agree with you too. My brain is
If
getting fried
leasing
over
is going great,
every question. They got to go over him with him 27 times.
I don't
Correct.
know why you're looking at it
That
as
is-
us
I
versus them.
I think it'd be a really low probability that you would get none from ARPA.
But
Up to
that should-
4.
I like that too. Why does it keep being us versus them? We're all one county. We're trying to get this budget for everybody. And that's the big thing that's kind of getting them. Like, I understand you're looking out for your dues. And I said that myself. I get that he's looking out for his department. He needs to ask for money, but he needs to understand there's a give and take. And he's not getting that.
I mean, should-
That's poor leadership. That's not a great sheriff and not great sheriff behavior, in my opinion.
that be involved in the conversation?
well,
Because
You have to take
because that's
into
money for 4
consideration.
vehicles.
I mean, it has to be part of the conversation. And like I said, I'll go talk.
So what if, I mean, what if we just didn't even, what if we were, as intended, just completely held out of that, then
Rub us back!
the conversation? I'm just saying, we have put in,
Then you're going to have to come back to us for additional appropriation
Me.
for additional vehicles.
So the way the vote would work for how the allocation of the
I don't know what this guy is doing. That's the weirdest posture. And this dude is freaking huge. He's like ready to Hulk out and flip the table or something. I don't know what's happened. I don't want to say too much bad about him because this guy could probably break me in half with his bare hands. So, but I don't know what's happening here. I noticed this when I was watching this before. Yeah, the us versus them is weird. And you're right, Diane. It's the same thing with the rest of the county and trying to pull help from the rest of the county. And I will say they probably do need more cars because it takes a lot of cars to pull over and hassle a dance team on the side of 70. So they definitely need more cars.
the 330,000 would be that the commissioners would choose how to allocate it, and then the
Yeah, he's going to run my name, Joey, for
they would
sure.
choose to allocate it and include zero.
I will point out, Joey, I've got to request it to see if he has. I have a feeling that he has. So I've got to request it. And I'll find out when I do. Hopefully I find out before Bastards on Thursday. Maybe I'll have an update on Thursday, but I'll let you guys know how that goes.
Sheriff's cars, the council could vote against it. We can't vote in favor of something else without the commissioners
It has to be
approving
appropriated
it.
by the
So we could
commissioners.
come to a standoff, I guess. But
So yeah, we'll skip ahead from here. So he's arguing about these cars forever. They're having the hardest time explaining to him, like, hey, we went on a trial basis to see how. Basically, they're saying we want to see how it works out. If we can do the lease, we'll save some money. We'll try to use ARP funds, get you 4 more cars, get you 4 more cars next year. We'll try to get you 12 cars. We'll get a good, he is going to ruin their accessibility. It's going to be bad. He's going to have to, we'll listen to the next meeting. Yeah, this Brandon Rudd, apparently we're going to have a couple more zeros. Good point, Josh. But we'll see. We'll see. He may not have, but it's worth checking. But yeah, they're trying to get him cars. They're trying to work with him. He's not hearing it. He keeps arguing with them. Not going well. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit where he's still trying to figure out, because I'm not going to make you guys listen all for the next 20 minutes. We're going to skip ahead about 20 minutes, and he's still arguing with them about the cars and what they're talking about. The cars is not getting through.
That car money and
And
give,
then that you would have.
Yeah, this is 20 minutes forward, and we start with car money.
All the increase came from your department, pretty much.
Small increases from other
Very small.
This is about to get fun, by the way. It's going to get a little heated.
So is,
No question, you guys are a third of the
Your
budget,
anger
we
should be
get
at the
it.
state legislature.
Let us try.
Because we
Let
have
us
so much
try.
revenue.
I agree. Everyone should be more angry with the state legislature. People do not get mad enough at the state legislature. Be pissed off at your state legislature all the time. I am always pissed off at my state legislature because they're ridiculous. He's like, you know what? You're mad about how much budget goes towards this. Be mad at your state legislature. They're holding on to bajillions of dollars in excess tax money that they've found ways to wiggle around, giving us. I'm going to go off on a rant. We're not going to go off on a full rant. This is a Bilbrey, a Rudd's Room Live. It's not a Rudd's Room rant. But yes, be mad at the state legislature. You've got a budget that you've got to work with, dude. He's not getting it. You've got a budget. It comes down from the state legislature. Go argue with them. Go tell Corey Criswell that you're pissed off about how much money that you guys are getting. Go tell J.D. Prescott that you're mad. He's already raising taxes on gas in the state. Why not raise money on everything else? All the council people. Bilbrey's not here. He's in a dungeon somewhere.
We're about.
But I do love the old pass the buck. State legislature's been good this year about saying, hey, we're going to lower your property taxes, and then they pass it down to local government. So the local government has to take the hit. They get to shirk that responsibility on the local government, and they get to stay clean. It kind of pisses me off if you guys didn't notice. You're right, Josh. You should be that mad at your state legislature, your state legislators. And you're right, Carano.
Less than all those counties I mentioned are starting.
Save me that list, but that's new information.
so for next steps, we will send you our proposed salaries for your people and wait for your feedback. If we were to choose to over budget in wages, in my mind, it would be, we would also be deciding to raise taxes next year.
so
To
so
cover
is that
that.
out of the, is raising taxes out of the question?
There you go. There's your Republican sheriff. Well, I want more money, so let's go ahead and raise the taxes on everybody because I don't want to budget wisely. Just give me more money. Go ahead, take it from the people. They've got to just dig into their pocket, get all the cash you can. Let's. Why are we worried about saving money? I want to spend.
Well, we just raised taxes last week. And
They just raised
we
taxes.
also found out this week, really, that 2 of our other departments are not solvent. So the question, it's not out of the question, but it isn't an easy choice.
But it seems to be a pretty easy choice to tell our officers, you can work at 8,000 below market.
Or that is all our employees. I mean, all of our employees are in the same situation.
Your department's closer to market.
We-
than the other
we-
department
We have
because of
committed
the
to
double
you.
increases.
Now,
we
I've
get to
heard,
raise.
I have,
You said you're appreciative,
Yeah, we just
but
can't do
nothing
it
in your
overnight.
tone shows you're appreciative of doubling the raise for your department, as if that didn't happen. You think the other departments felt good that they got a 2% raise, you got a 4, they got a 3, you got a 6,
I didn't feel good when I came here with COVID every day and they gotta work from home either.
and you got a $5,000.
Hey,
raise.
whoa, stop,
Yeah,
stop,
this
stop.
this
This isn't gonna
this
go
isn't
anywhere.
productive.
Whoa. We got a little heated there for a second. So Sproles, just if you couldn't hear, just to refresh, he says, so raising taxes out of the question. He says, it seems pretty easy to call to tell our officers you can work 8K below market. And his response from, I got to look up what this guy's name is. Hold on. Christopher gave me a cheat sheet. Old Bilbrey gave me a cheat sheet. Keenan Gray here pushes back on him, says, you keep saying you're appreciative, but nothing in your tone shows you're appreciative that we are doubling the raises for your department. You think other departments like they get a 2% raise when you get a 4% raise, or that they get a 3% raise and you get a 6% raise? The point being, Sproles is pretty pissed off about what his guys make, and he wants them to make more. Granted, you want your guys. Yeah, it was awesome, Yoko. You want your guys to make more. You want to do best for your department. But they've already mentioned his department is the only one that's making over the market low. They're making the most money of everyone in the county, and they're trying to help out everybody. They're getting more than their fair share, and he's still pissed that he's not getting enough. And it really apparently touched a nerve with Keenan Gray there. So that was pretty funny. And then we got the ref to come in and kind of break this up because they're pissed. He's saying, "Oh, you think I was happy coming in with COVID?" No, nobody liked that. Nobody liked COVID. And yeah, an air horn. Yeah, that would have been fun. So that's pretty fun there.
Productive, guys. We committed to you guys to try and help fix the problem, and we're committed to trying to help solve the problem for the rest of the county as well. We can't fix it overnight. We certainly get your issue. We're going to try and help you as much as we can. Let us try.
And I believe that, and I appreciate it.
Do you appreciate it?
I want you to know that I do appreciate it, and I do believe that. But for me, I have to fight for my people.
And I think you've demonstrated that today.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's all.
Yes. We haven't scheduled it. We're going to have to meet again as a council next week. We're going to have to work through some numbers. So it's going to, late next week is a good guess. A week from today. Sure. Just an idea. Yeah, no problem.
We're riding alone in a car all day with the windows rolled up, the mask on. Yeah, he's gonna block every council member on his Facebook. I'll show you sons again. We'll try to skip ahead. I don't remember where my next timestamp is, but
talk to us about it.
Sproles is about to leave this meeting, so I'm going to jump ahead a little bit here. And it's going to be a little annoying because I can't remember exactly where I'm trying to find, but scrolling. Uh-oh, I broke it. Yeah, Joe Tompkins, why does he want everyone's taxes to go up? Sounds like he's just another cheerleader for big government to me. Well, I'm going to tell you about that, Josh Fisher. Gosh darn it, I broke it, and I was almost done. We'll get there. I might have to do the old reload routine. Or just give it a second. We'll give it a second. So we're about to wrap up. So the majority of this time he's spent kind of arguing about how he was asking for $2 million or wasn't asking for $2 million. The other half is arguing over the cars and wages for his people, which is completely reasonable. I'm going to try to reload this, see if it'll work. See if it'll work.
I believe it. I believe it. Hey,
I'm just going to let it run because I think he's out of here. I think the rest of this is about 5 minutes. So
that's what I thought.
Yeah, here we go. So this is a little fun. We're just kind of wrapping up here. It's interesting to note, I don't know that everyone here is aware that they're not stopping the streaming here. This is still open. This is streamed online. They've posted this online. So Dave Batista just left in the front here.
That's our lunch for the Because our lunch.
Hey, do you guys need lunch?
We would have.
A lot of lunch talk. These guys have been at it for a long time.
It's at around 4:53:10.
What is it? 4:53:10?
Yeah.
Is that when he's talking? Oh, I was going for the part before that where he's talking. He starts talking about Bilbrey again for a minute here. It's really hard to hear, though.
Okay.
But I'll just kind of give it to you because it's kind of hard to hear him, too, because he kind of stands up. But essentially, they tell him, this gentleman, I believe, it's hard to tell who's talking because it's so choppy. This gentleman in the blue shirt on the left is Counselor Kyle Allen. I believe he's the one who says, hey, just so you know, you probably don't want to talk about pending legal matters on a no cancel pending legal matters on the record while we're streaming. You probably you probably want to keep that under wraps. Maybe you want to discuss that not in this meeting. And then Sproles says something along the lines that Josh Fisher like about, well, you know how it goes. They tell you we're probably going to want a budget for $10,000, but then they'll say $15,000, $25,000. It's going to cost us some money. This lawsuit, basically, is what he's saying. It's kind of hard to hear. Not that interesting. And then Kate, you said it's at 53.10. Is that what you said?
Yeah, 53.10.
Okay. And I'm going to try to, it's really difficult to hear, but I listened to it several times, and now I've got it written down what he actually says, so you can kind of hear it.
I get frustrated because it comes across that that's in it for me in my department, and no other department head does that.
So you guys probably can't hear that. What Keenan Gray says is, I get kind of frustrated because he comes across as what's in it for me in my department, and no other department head does that. She says, I think he's just stubborn, I believe is what she says. And he's new.
What are we going to get back?
He doesn't realize that other departments have given up entire employees and spread that money across everyone's raises.
And he doesn't get that other departments have given up employees so they can spread that budget across other employees' raises. But he wants to have it all while other departments are having to fire people and do budget cuts so they can make sure that they're taking care of their people.
Well, we've had 3 sit-downs with him. I don't think the things we've said are registered.
And we've had 3 sit-downs with him, and I don't think the things we've said have registered. He's just not getting it. And you saw that in this entire budget meeting. He's not getting the $2 million thing. He's not getting the cars, and they're getting very frustrated with him. He's very frustrating to work with.
Experience on your own.
True.
He also hasn't seen other departments use all of their perpetuation funds to fund their own supplies. I mean, these are things
True.
that every department has had to do.
True. Agreed.
Yeah, and he doesn't see how other departments use their funds, how they make things work to make it work. And they're saying he's an FNG is basically what they're saying.
Frustrated with him.
Just get frustrated with him. Those Doritos.
I asked, sorry,
No, go ahead.
I asked Debbie today, were you aware?
Oh, did Kyle leave? One of my group, did he leave? He went to the potty. Oh, I was gonna say, because Olivia said she'll go get whatever you guys want to run and get.
They are really hungry, guys.
Oh, okay.
She did DoorDash. Hi.
So we can kind of end it there. So we keep everyone in this meeting keeps forgetting that they're live streaming, that everything they're saying is on microphone and is being recorded. So really, there's just at the end there, it's just a lot of frustration in working with Sproles, and they've tried to explain things to him multiple times. He's probably ripping them up, Joey. I almost kind of feel bad in calling them out for this, but they posted this online. This is public information. It's up there right now. They didn't edit it. They didn't censor it. They probably shouldn't have said it if they didn't want it out there. But really, there's a lot of frustration trying to work with this guy. He's not getting it. He doesn't want to work with anybody. He's not interested in learning or changing. I just want things to go the way I want them to go. I'm tired of talking to a brick wall. I agree, Joey. So that's pretty much what I want to go over tonight. I'm kind of curious. I almost want to see Bilbrey do like a weekend review when he's back or whenever he gets back, episode review, and see what his thoughts are on this, because he's seemed like, Brandon was wrong on this, Brandon was wrong on that, or maybe he was dead on. I don't know. I'm kind of curious his thoughts. I probably said that somebody seemed like a nice person. He's like, oh, that person's the devil. But I don't know. I just kind of went through that. Kate, I want to thank Kate a ton for her help with that. She kind of went through it as well and did notes. Really, Sproles was in there for about 3 hours or so. It's kind of painful to watch, but she kind of did notes and made it a little bit easier to kind of digest the interesting notes. I did watch pretty much all of it. It was painful, but she had notes ready for me, which made my life way easier. But yeah, Bilbrey will probably come in, Josh, and completely destroy it. Like, nope, hold on, Brandon missed this, and this. But I'm not Bilbrey. I'm the Rudd, so I do my best. But we'll go ahead and wrap it up from there. I want to thank everyone for sticking with me. We'll see if I'm back this week. I think Audie will be in for Bilbrey Live tomorrow. I believe that's correct. He will be updating us on, is the Muncie City Council tomorrow, Kate? On the Muncie City Council meeting. So he's going to come give his thoughts on that and talk about that. So please tune in for that. If you haven't yet, please like, of course, comment, subscribe. We love commenting with you guys. As Bilbrey says, we live in the comments. Try to respond when you guys comment live. That's a lot of fun. It adds a lot to the show. Comment after the fact. We try to go back and see what you guys are saying and follow up with you there. Yeah, he needs that hair. He needs the haircut, doesn't he, Eric? But yes, definitely like, comment, subscribe. Click that bell. I know Josh is working on a couple things right now that'll be pretty interesting. He was working on a video today. And then some other things were going on with him today, which I'm assuming he will make a video out of, which you'll probably want to see. I kind of saw some preview of it, and it's pretty crazy. So I'll definitely hit that bell so you can see when he's dropping new content as well. Thanks, everyone, for the positivity. Have a good evening, and we will see you tomorrow with Audie Barber for another Bilbrey Live. Thanks, and have a good day, everybody.